Okay, so with the traction the last Thunder Dragon video got, I thought maybe it'd be nice to talk about and show you all the basic combo lines basically you need in order to play this deck on rated with success. Talk about some gameplay interactions that can come up with, especially now Colossus being legal in this game. And also watch a replay together where we see some of these things, some of these gameplay interactions implemented in the games. This is not only for new players. If you're from the TCG, Colossus has obviously been banned in the TCG for quite a while, so looking at these combo lines might actually help you if you want to get into the stack in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. But without further ado, let's get into these combo lines. Alright, just to freshen up your mind, this is the deck list we used to get into Platinum 1. It's a pure Thunder Dragon deck. We don't want to go into the specifics of the deck list. You can watch the other video for that if you're interested in it. But I want you to realize when you look at this deck list, there's one principle or one game plan that we want to pull off. And that is to bring out Thunder Dragon Colossus as quickly as possible, sit on that body, and then kill your opponent on turn 3. We don't want to bore our opponent with 15-minute turns. We don't want to go off. All we do is put out Colossus as quickly as possible. And if we have the chance to, which is not always the case at all, we can put out Titan as well going first. Well, some might say a Thunder Dragon Colossus is never enough if you're going first. All those combo decks, Drytron and Emancipated, they're just gonna OTK you even through a Colossus. Well, that's why we play 11 non-engine cards. So we play Maxi, Ash Blossom, Imperm, Torrential Tribute, and Cosmic Cyclone in order to back our Colossus up with protection, right? Even if they can out our Colossus, we usually have an addition to our Colossus an Ash Blossom, an Impermanence, a Maxi that will stop them from playing. So our game plan is bring out Colossus turn 1, back it up with some non-engine, potentially a Titan as well, maybe something like an IP Masquerena if you can afford it. We don't have it in this deck list because it's free to play. That is our game plan. Put this up and then turn 3 OTK the opponent with a Titan, with a Duo, with something similar. This deck is very good at putting up big boss monsters at once turn 3. And now that we know what the goal of this deck is, we can look at how to get to this goal. How can we achieve this Colossus going first consistently? What are some of the interactions we need to know about? Let's look at it together. Alright, before you wonder where we are right now, this is duelingbook.com, was pretty much the simulator before Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. In case, I mean, most from my viewers probably know this anyway, because it was the website most players used before Master Duel was released. But this is still a perfect website to test out your hands. So this is the first combo. Okay, first combo is Aloof plus any Thunder Dragon monster, basically. You banish Roar. Just for this example, it's Roar. We banish Dark. We can banish another Thunder type monster from our deck with Aloof's effect. We trigger both Thunder Dragons because they're being banished. And we can add the Hawk from our deck with Dark and special summon the Matrix with Roar. So basically, we just want to try to trigger every single Thunder Dragon effect in our deck to get the maximum value out of this turn. We use Hawk in our effect that we searched. So now we have activated a Thunder effect in our hand to special summon Colossus. Now, in this case, we play Cross Sheep, and because of this, we can summon the Matrix back from our grave, and of course, we trigger the Matrix in the grave to add another Matrix to our hand. Alright, this next combo is similar, but instead of opening Roar, Dark, Matrix, we open OG Thunder Dragon. And OG Thunder Dragon is nice because with Aloof, there's a little funny thing. You can add 2 Thunder Dragons, so you basically don't lose any cards. Maybe the OG Thunder Dragon doesn't give you an effect, but at least he doesn't lose you any card advantage. So we banish the Roar, we special summon the Dark, and basically this is going to end on a very similar field as before. We're going to go into Cross Sheep. In a second here, we use the Dark effect that we special summoned off the Roar. And we add a Thunder Dragon Hawk probably here. Yeah, we add a Thunder Dragon Hawk from our deck to our hand. Use the Thunder effect in the hand so we can special summon out Colossus. As I said, this is the game plan. We just special summon out Colossus and hope our opponent doesn't out it as best as we can. This is an alternative way to get out Thunder Dragon Colossus. Colossus has an unfair clause where you can just summon it if you activate a Thunder effect in your hand by tributing any Thunder monster you control. But you can also, of course, summon it with any fusion spell, right? Just as like a regular fusion monster. So in this case, we just use OG Thunder Dragon with fusion in our hand to get out of the Colossus by shuffling back the 2 Thunder Dragons. This is a very easy thing, and then we discard a Thunder Dragon just so we have a way to protect our Colossus in case it gets destroyed. Let's go back to the Aloof combo once again, because there's an alternative route you can go if you have crafted or pulled Verte Anaconda. So Verte Anaconda is a very strong Link 2 monster that just basically cheats out any fusion monster from your extra deck, and it is a very strong card in the Thunder Dragon deck. The reason I didn't include it in this video or this deck list is because it's an ultra rare, right? So we play a free-to-play version, or we at least try to play a free-to-play version as much as possible. So in this scenario, if you have the Verte Anaconda, if you're willing to spend your ultra rare crafting points on it, it is very good. We go to the regular combo, but instead of going for cross sheep here, we use Verte Anaconda to dump Thunder Dragon Fusion and shuffle back 3, so we end on Titan in addition to Colossus as well. So if you have Verte Anaconda, Aloof Lupine plus Roar or Dark equals Thunder Dragon Colossus and Thunder Dragon Titan. Alright, next combo. This is going to be Allure with Thunder Dragon Dark. So this is a very standard one. You just draw 2 cards. It doesn't matter which cards you draw. You banish Dark, and then Dark triggers because it was banished. So Allure is a super strong card in Thunder Dragon in general. Has very nice applications here. You can add Thunder Dragon Hawk, and then you just activate Thunder Dragon Hawk to special summon a Thunder monster from your banish pile or your grave. And you go into Colossus that way, right? Super simple. Now, why is Chaos Space such a good card in Thunder Dragon? Let me show you. So this is Chaos Space with Thunder Dragon Roar. We activate Chaos Space, pitching Thunder Dragon Roar. We can now add a level 4 or level 8 monster with the according attribute to our hand. So if we pitch a Dark, we can add a Light. Wyverburst is a light monster that special summons itself by banishing a dark monster. So we can banish Roar, and of course if Roar gets banished once again, it triggers. So we can special summon out Dark from the deck. And now it depends again, right? If you play Verte Anaconda, you can now go... Oh, I accidentally rolled the dice. It happens on this website a lot. You can now go into either Verte Anaconda or Cross Sheep. For the sake of this video, I'll just show the better version with Verte Anaconda, but you can also, of course, just go for Cross Sheep and just put out a Colossus very easily. The nice thing here is that Wyverburst are also triggers, so you can add a Collapse Serpent as well in the run here, and Thunder Dragon Hawk will activate to get out Thunder Dragon Roar. You put out Colossus, and then it's basically the same thing we did with Aloof Lupine, where we just shuffle back 3 and summon a Titan. Now, never forget that Thunder Dragon Fusion has a second effect where on the next turn, you can banish it to add any Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. So on the following turn, we also have follow-up. Now, we discussed various turn 1 combo plays now, but what happens once you've established this board? So this is a turn 3 scenario where our Colossus survived. We have a Colossus on field, some Thunder Dragon monsters in the grave, then banish pile. It doesn't really matter too much which ones, but we just did some plays. And let's just say our hand is something like the one we have here with OG Thunder Dragon, Matrix, and Dark. We can actually summon Titan via its normal summoning clause, banishing Dragon Dark and Colossus from the field. So we give up our Colossus, at least for the moment. Dragon Dark triggers, we add Thunder Dragon Fusion. Now we use the effect of Thunder Dragon, OG Thunder Dragon. In the run, we can also use Titan's effect here. We could use Titan's effect to destroy cards our opponent controls, just in case we need it. Now we activate Thunder Dragon Fusions, shuffling back our 2 OG Thunder Dragons and shuffling back our Colossus as well. Very important, you can always shuffle back the Colossus, so it's not really limited in that sense. You special summon out a second Titan, you normal the Matrix because we haven't normal summoned, and get out Colossus. Now you can use Matrix to add another Matrix to have interruption during your opponent's turn. Of course, we can trigger the Matrix as a quick effect and then chain the Titan. And this is OTK, this is over 8,000 attack. So you can put 8,000 on board really easily with this deck on turn 3. Alright, that was it for the basic combo lines. Maybe let's look at a nice gameplay interaction that I've talked about in the beginning. We have Torrential Tribute face down. In the free-to-play version, this is a rare card you can easily craft, and we have Colossus on field and Dark in the graveyard. We can have any Thunder Dragon in the grave, it doesn't really matter, any that can trigger its effect. We use Torrential Tribute, we protect the Colossus by banishing any Thunder monster from our grave with its own effect. It's very neat. You can also do it if your own cards would destroy it, not only if your opponent cards would destroy it. And now Dark triggers because it was banished. So now we can add a Thunder Dragon Hawk. I've encountered this multiple times on the ranked ladder on Master Duel where people would try to destroy my Colossus and I would just protect it and search follow-up. Alright, this is the next interaction point. We have Matrix in the hand, Titan on the field. This revolves around the damage step. Now the damage step, look it up on Wikipedia, is pretty difficult to understand, but basically there are a lot of effects your opponent cannot activate when being in the damage step. Thunder Dragon, Matrix, and Titan can both trigger in the damage step. So if you use Matrix in the damage step, there are a lot of effects your opponent cannot react with, and then you can always pretty much trigger Titan. So make sure when your opponent attacks, you always trigger Titan in the damage step. This is a very cool one. I like this a lot. You are on turn 3 and you already have a couple of Thunder Dragons in your graveyard that you haven't triggered this turn because they're still in the grave from last turn. You use OG Thunder Dragon and use Titan to pop itself with its own effect and protect it with its own effect by banishing 2 random cards from our grave. We banish Dragon Roar and Dragon Dark, and we can get full follow-up. We can special summon out of the deck. We can add a card. So If there's a reason why you can't trigger Roar and Dark in any other way during your turn, this is the way to do it. Alright, we're in a replay from Master Duel here. This might not be the most competitive match you have ever seen, but it is more so to show you what the Thunder Dragon deck can do if it's played in action. If you go first, what can it set up? And then everything else you kind of have to figure out on your own. You have to play around with it, test the deck, train with it, and then leave me all your thoughts down in the comment section down below how it's going for you. We go first and we have the Aloof Roar combo that I've talked about in the basic combo line. Now, a thing that you will notice here very soon is that we actually don't add Thunder Dragon Hawk with Thunder Dragon Dark to our hand. There is a reason for this. It's not just random, and I didn't tell you any BS in the basic combo guide, basically. So the reason we add the Thunder Dragon here is because I wanted to play around Nibiru. So because I don't have Anaconda in Master Duel yet, I haven't crafted it because I'm trying to play a free-to-play version of this deck to show you guys. It is actually quite nice because we don't have to overextend into a Link 2 play and then going over 5 summons, so we can play around Nibiru. And the OG Thunder Dragon also gives us a bit of follow-up, so we can trigger a Thunder effect monster in the hand again next turn to potentially go for Colossus next turn again if we shuffle back the Colossus that we make this turn with Thunder Dragon Fusion. So there's already a lot of thinking ahead in this turn happening. That's why I add the OG Thunder Dragon instead of the Thunder Dragon Hawk. We use the Thunder Dragon Hawk to add another one. We don't use it twice because we still want to have one in deck to trigger next turn. There is a chance we will draw it, but that's just a trade-off you kind of have to take. We tribute the Matrix to go for a Thunder Dragon Colossus, and then we basically just sit on that. The reason I'm going for this very safe play as well is because we still have Maxi in our hand, and I'm confident that even if they can out the Colossus, if we drop Maxi and we draw into something like Ash, potentially we can still stop them. We go into the end phase, our opponent's turn starts, and from what I believe, they will instantly have an out to our Colossus. They will Kaiju it. So it's one of the easiest outs to a Colossus. They normal summon Fairy Tail Luna, which it's a generic going second card. It doesn't really matter too much because they will just bounce back their Kaiju. Never mind, it doesn't matter what this card does. This replay is just to show you what the Thunder Dragon deck can do, like in action, like when it's turn 3, how easily it can OTK. So it's our draw phase again. What I was thinking is that we didn't have a Fusion Engrave, we didn't have great follow-up to Search, we didn't have a Dark or Roar, which are our main follow-up starters, with something like Duo to Banish in our grave. And it was a bit of a weird hand, because we didn't have Colossus anymore in our deck, so we couldn't just go OG, normal summon Matrix, go for Colossus, and we knew they had a Kaiju in hand. So this is the play I went for, right? I special summoned Dragon Duo, banishing the Matrix and the Colossus, using the Matrix to add another Matrix to our hand. Then I tribute summoned the the Dragon Dark by tributing the Aloof Lupine. So this is also something we have to think about, that all our Thunder Dragons, we can still normal summon them. They're not entirely bricks. Sometimes there are scenarios where we can still get them out as a normal summon. I used the Dragon Dark and the Dragon Duo for some summer summoner. That was a card that was used in the TCG way back when Master Duel 5 was not a thing yet, and you could only summon fusion monsters in the arrows Link monsters point to. This has of course changed. Now you can just summon them anywhere again. And we trigger our Thunder Dragon Dark to get a Thunder Dragon Fusion from our deck to hand. So I think you can already kind of see where this is going, where this is going to lead into. We use our Thunder Dragon Fusion to shuffle back a Matrix, a Thunder Dragon, and the Colossus. The reason we don't shuffle back any of the other cards is I still have one Dark in deck and one is all we need. I still have a Roar in deck, one is all we need. And I want a Matrix in our deck so we can maybe profit off a Search later. Maybe during the next turn, should we not be able to win this turn. So we summon out Titan. And the cool thing here is, now that some Summer Summoner is a Thunder effect monster, or not effect monster, but it's a Thunder monster that we can tribute for Colossus. So I knew that they had a Kaiju, so my thought process was I either get out 2 monsters that are really strong, or I don't get out any monsters, because otherwise they just Kaiju it and bounce the Kaiju back to their hand once again. So we managed to get out 2 Thunder Dragon, like big Thunder Dragon monsters. And now we have Maxi, Cosmic Cyclone, and Matrix as interruptions. So basically I think with a very mediocre hand, we managed to still get out a reasonable board. Now, one of the mistakes I did was that last turn I played around Nibiru, this turn I didn't. It's a very rookie mistake, I have to admit, but I was very confident that even if they Nibiru'd us, it would still be fine because they bricked last turn. So because they're bricked, you can assume that their hand is very bad and they are relying on a top deck. And I believe with a Maxine hand, I can still win even if they top deck something playable. And my token is going to be huge. That's also a big upside, right? So they're just going to Nibiru us. I'm going to fast forward this. I chain Maxi actually to the Nibiru so I can draw twice. Now, some of you might ask yourself, why can I draw twice? Well, Nibiru says you can special summon this card from your hand and then special summon a token. So it summons twice actually. It doesn't only summon once. It summons twice. Special summon this and then if it's special summon a token. Then we draw into Chaos Space. It doesn't really matter too much. We just add a Collapse Serpent. Chaos Space is usually more of a starter. It's not too great of an extender, I would say, in most cases. We use Collapse Serpent, add Wyver Burster, and this is just very generic plays. We just put up a board. We should probably put the Wyver Burster in defense. I just did this so we have a bit of we have a bit of defense on board, and also just to potentially draw into another non-engine card with the Chaos Space. So I'm still fairly happy with what we have here. We set the Cosmic Cyclone and we pass. It's their turn again and they will kaiju our token because they can't get over it in any other way. They will normal summon the Luna and they didn't draw again anything playable. Now once again, this is not a replay that shows how you can play through like a million interruptions with Thunder Dragon. It is merely to show you how the deck inherently functions and what are the basic plays you want to go for. Now the cool thing is with Chaos Space earlier, I didn't mention that, but with Chaos Space, usually you would shuffle back the Wyver Burster or the Collapse Serpent depending on which one you banished first. But in this scenario, we actually shuffled back the Dragon Duel because we only play one of it. And we wanted to have it in the deck for Thunder Dragon Fusion to search it on the following turn. Because Thunder Dragon Duel is the best follow-up card that exists in this deck. Because at this point, we search the Thunder Dragon Duel, we banish Matrix and Dark, we trigger, I think, both of them, to get even more follow-up turns, and I will just let you watch how much or how easily we can win this game now. We search a Thunder Dragon Fusion, we use Thunder Dragon, it doesn't really matter anymore, we already have so many materials in the grave. Our Thunder Dragon Duo gets 300 attack, which is pretty nice. We shuffle back Colossus and Titan, so we can summon Titan, and this also goes to show how we really only need 2 Titans most of the time. Because we can always shuffle one back with Thunder Dragon Fusion. Then we use the OG Thunder Dragon, use the Titan to pop the opponent's Nibiru, set the Matrix, go for Colossus, and this way we already have an OTK on board super easily. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this guide, tutorial. I don't really know how to call this yet. Never done something like this before. I hope you enjoy the deck if you're playing it. And if you haven't picked it up yet, I really suggest playing it. I think it's a great, like, sort of mid-range combo deck. It's a lot of fun to play. And you also can play many variants of it, right? The one version I'm showing you here is just one version to play Thunder Dragons. There's also big combo versions, which we'll get to in next week, I think, with a new video. But let me know in the comment section down below if this video helped you. What are your experience with the deck so far? Have I maybe missed a very basic combo line that is also played in the deck frequently? I mean, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.